I'm Mel.
I'm Luke.
We are with Lahrs with Latitude, a full-time traveling RV family of 7 years now. We have been traveling in our Heartland Torque 380 for the whole 7 years that we've been traveling. So we have really put this guy through all the tests. We were excited to head to Indiana and do a tour, a factory tour at Heartland.
At Heartland, yeah.
And we can't wait to share it with you. Luke had a lot of really tough questions for them.
Right, because I'm going in this tour with, hey, we might be buying a new RV here soon because our RV is aging, it's getting old, it's getting some issues. But also I want to see their quality, their builds, and if they improved, you know, any of the pain points that we're having in a 2015 RV.
Right, yeah. And they had answers. So we're really excited to dig in and share our experience with you.
Doors are locked, says.
Doors are locked to the public.
Good afternoon, Heartland RV.
Hi there, we had a 2 o'clock meeting.
I'll buzz you in just a moment.
Appreciate it. What are you doing, Josie? Stealing candy from Heartland.
I love these. Said that before, I feel bad.
Check out this conference room. Beautiful doors. Yeah, it's awesome. Correct some. There you go.
That's funny. We brought you guys some hats and stuff for your, some tumblers for your rig.
Thank you so much.
I know you don't have much space on the back of your unit anymore.
Oh, look at
Here's a
that.
big
Fine
sticker.
space. Cool, thank you. Yeah,
That's
awesome.
a huge one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's see that sticker, Mama. Wow.
Some hats. We love our hats, don't we?
Dustin is a GM at Heartland. He's the primary person you're going to see in the video, and he has all the answers. And he's started in the business as a worker on the floor, building these things, and worked himself up to a GM. So
Yeah, it's really cool. We really liked the people that worked at Heartland. They were super kind and helpful and honest. So
yeah,
can't wait to share it all with you.
let's go.
Come in, guys. Like I said earlier, all the chassis, ours are from Lippert. Pretty much that's an industry standard is Lippert chassis. As this comes in, this one right here is probably actually a torque by looking at it. What you can see, and I always like to show people is when you look at these frames, they're not how they start off. There's not a lot. They're not very rigid. You know, they have a little bit of sway and a little bit of movement in them. And once they go through the line, as we're putting floors on, sidewalls, and that, these become a tank more or less. Now, one thing that we do a little bit different than all of our competitors out there is that we do put this C-channel in every 16 inches. Most guys do it on here, one in the center, and that's about it, and they leave the rest on support for the floor. So you get a lot of guys with soft floors out there in the industry.
So after that first introduction to the chassis, we had our eyes right on the suspension components of the frame. That's one of our pain points that we had at our RV, so we wanted to make sure they got that resolved, and the following little bit, you're going to be surprised at what they did.
Yeah.
So yours was on a 12, and the shackles were just welded with none of these supports in there, right? What we did was we actually found out that it is stronger and dampens more vibration by going to a 10-inch frame with a crush tube on it. It also is a little bit safer for an accident. So
Yeah.
in the old days, if it was a brand new unit with a shackle weld onto a 12-inch frame, there wasn't any give. If some accident happened or if something happened, it usually ended up bad. Where this the tube actually takes away some of the vibration, the road vibration, which longevity of your coach, right? Less vibration, less stuff to come apart. So it dampens that, and then going to this, it gives this more twist if something happens. So if there is an accident, it's more likely to twist this tube or bend this tube than destroy the whole frame. And then of course the supports in here, which were a later add-on, because what was happening is people were twisting them and tearing them out because of the torque with all the weight on it. So
you gotta get in those sights.
it is eliminated, yes.
No, because like if we get in a wreck, we're toast, because I had to box them in and put supporting members on it because it was just breaking so much.
Yeah.
I know they're designed probably that for safety, but we had a battle our.
You talk about an industry that went from building 5,000 a year to 15,000 units a year. So it was, to them, I mean, they were learning as it went too, right? Out of those, let's say it was 5,000 people over those years, no one really worked them a lot, and they weren't used a lot. And now when you started growing more and more and more people, then everyone's using them. They're getting used in different situations over and over again. They're like, boy, you know what? We need to build these up and get a little more support there. So
I like this bar. The crush bar, you called it?
yep, crush tube is what we call that. Yep.
And then how many years on this design?
We've been doing this right here with this extra added support has been now about a year and a half.
Okay.
I'd say maybe 2 years. So, well, something new, comparison to yours and ours, new, is that this is actually a new flush floor bath deck on the front end. Okay, so your unit actually has got the 45 cutoff with a tight turning radius.
Yeah.
We still have the tight turning radius because we moved all this up, but we don't promote it like we did just because the fact of the corners are cut off. So you can still turn right about 85 degrees, depending on the vehicle you got. Where before, you guys could turn 88 degrees. You had a little bit more turning radius.
Okay.
So what we did though, is we changed this to a larger tube up deck. This is actually a thicker gauge steel on the top, and there's no hump in the front.
Right.
So like if you look at your unit, right about here, you got that bump in the front where your fifth wheel pin used to connect to. You don't have any of that anymore. It's all gone. So it's completely flush from the front to the back, which gives us more ceiling height, no trip,
Right.
better closet space, from floor to ceiling. It just allows us to be a little more creative with our floor plans because we're not having to stop this far back. So we're utilizing 2 more feet of unit that we were never able to use.
That's awesome. And did this, the I don't know what this part's called, the tongue holder?
Just basically your hitch, your cross members for the front.
Did this suffer any from that?
It's all kind of been upgraded. We actually went on triple axles from a 20,000 pound GVRW to a 21,000 pounds. So it's actually better than what it was previously.
Yeah.
And we've done testing on it to make sure that it passes all those specs. Now, your double axles are staying the same. They're still staying 17,000 pounds, just because, putting 8,000 pound axles on a unit it's very expensive, and it's not worth the extra little bit of capacity.
While we're looking at the chassis area in the shop, another one of my pain points was to look at where the whole frame ties into the upper part of the frame, where the tongue is located. That's where we had our first crack at. Again, I wanted to make sure they resolved that, and they definitely did. You can hear us on the video. We didn't really get a really great shot of it, but rest assured, the issue's fixed.
So
here's where a little war story. So
yeah.
Right here is
where
ours cracked at.
Yeah.
Did you guys do anything in this area, or am I just the only one?
Some of the cracking in that was actually because of the walls.
The wall?
It was. So our side walls have a lot of structure built in this area. So when we get up to that area, I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, we had a time where we weren't putting, we had a single wall tube in here. We had to go to a triple wall tube, which was taller, which kept less of this. This piece to this piece used to flex a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why you would see some of these cracking up there, was because of that. It was just because of the flex and the wall. Remember me showing the beginning when you grab the chassis and the whole thing waves? Well, Lippert's chassis is so strong, but a part of it is the structural integrity that we're putting in our walls to hold these things together. So, it can go both ways. We can blame Lippert, we can blame us.
Sure.
Either way. But I feel the testing grounds from 2015 to now, they're completely different.
Right.
I mean, these go through a pretty rugged test.
I know this is thicker too.
It is. And Lippert, I mean, again, toy haulers, like I said, started off only doing 5,000 a year, and now we're in the 15,000 to 20,000 units range a year.
Right.
So, you know, there's a lot more volume, so we've seen a lot more, there's a lot more tests
Yeah,
dummies
right,
out there.
sure.
Take it that way, right? And see, one thing too now, you know, we've got the 3-year structural warranty on these too.
Ah.
So we've kind of changed, you know, the testing has changed over the years and the standards have changed over the years. I mean,
Well, to be fair, we beat ours up pretty good too.
a lot of people do. I mean, that's what they're meant for.
We
But-
washboard roads, everything.
Oh yeah. So
cool.
as you start continuing back this way, right, you can see your fresh water tanks. All of our units now, on almost every single floor plan is 150 gallons of fresh, in comparison to 100. So we've increased the rates on that.
Awesome.
As you can see, all of these tie together, right? It's a continuous tie, so you know your lines, that's how you feed. You have one central fill area, and it'll fill each one up individually as it goes through.
Right.
So that's being installed. As you can see now, axles are in, wheels are in. Your fuel tanks are going, torques are still 30 gallons. This is all enclosed and engaged. Yours used to be on the exterior. We've kind of changed that up a little bit. Everything is on the inside that you can lock it and close it from itself instead of having it on the exterior of the coach like yours was. These are just your EPA carb tanks, you know, for emissions. You know, one of the things I always show people is why we don't enclose the garages completely is because of your fuel tank. It's just law. It's the code. You can't enclose a fuel station. So what we do is we bring the header back as far as we can, and then the rest stays open underneath.
Okay. I know
So-
that you guys can't. I mean, what if someone wanted to spray foam?
Spray foam, that's what I
underneath?
tell people all the time,
Okay.
spray foam it. As long as, of course, you're not covering that up. But yes, most people will do that closed cell foam in there.
Yep.
Here, guys, all your garage floors are going in, right? Comparison to your old one, these are 4-step aluminums. Yours is a 3-step. Kind of upgraded that over the years. This is going to be 3/4 inch plywood, tongue and groove. Okay. They've got the floor on this already, but if you were to look, they're screwing every 12 inches into your C channel and into your frame throughout this. Of course, tie downs again, like I told you earlier, you can see side by side it's going to be here. Your center one is going to be in that center frame. So the flooring in the back, of course, is glued down also. And then once this unit gets up and gets walls on it, we actually seal this around the sides so there's a water barrier. So if somebody does have a fuel leak, antifreeze leak, or water, they want to rinse it out, they can. All these are sealed off, so there's no way the water can penetrate into this floor.
Okay.
Okay?
Awesome.
What we do is we build our floors in one piece, okay? So this is basically a one-piece structure board from front to back. There's no seams in it. It's called big board. So it's
Yeah.
one huge piece. There's no seams. The reason why we do that is that, again, it's a rolling earthquake. You know, a lot of guys will do tongue and groove plywood throughout the coach. We don't do that just because this thing's constantly moving.
Sure.
You know, we do it in the garage, and we do it there because we've got all that extra steel framework in there. And the PSI of plywood compared to OSB is a lot higher. So for motorcycles, kickstands, and stuff like that, we don't want holes punching through the floor.
Yeah.
Where when you use an OSB floor or a big board, the PSI isn't as strong. So if somebody does have a big motorcycle, there is a chance of it going through the floor. So again, no seams, less chances to move, to pull apart, longevity of the coach. While we're back here, I always show our galvanized steel. We're one of the only manufacturers that puts that in there.
Okay. That makes
The
sense.
reason why we do that is because when you're traveling down the highway throwing up rocks and stones, it's not puncturing holes in your Darko paper wrap, which is commonly seen on everybody else's stuff.
Oh yeah.
So if you're driving down the road and you're throwing up rocks, it pokes holes in it, you get in the rain, guess what? It gets wet. Next thing you know, you get mold or a rotted floor. This prevents all that.
Okay.
And that's just a small thing we do
Yeah,
that no
no.
one else does, right? You kind of come up here and you'll see this is your one-piece floor. No seams, and they're pre-built, right?
That's crazy.
As you look over there, the big board, you can see that's what they're buying is they're buying big sheets. They're gluing it and stapling it as it goes on. It's just regular batten insulation underneath this.
Can't put that in the back of the truck.
Nope. On this, on a Torque, it is a stick-built floor. So you can see this is like your header on the sides. Your Cyclones, you know, are a little bit different grade and they weigh more. So we build the double axles out of aluminum to keep the weight down and to just give you a little more capacity. Where the Torques are smaller units, less content, so the weight isn't such a factor in that series.
Gotcha.
This does save us money, so we do try to keep costs down
Sure.
in the Torques to keep it at the price point it's at.
Awesome. Look at those boards, Josie.
And then of course your ductwork through your floor is built on a machine back there. As you can see, if you look right back in the corner, see that square tubing duct? That's your ductwork in the floor that
Yep.
runs through a rolling machine if you look back here. So see that machine right there?
Oh, make your own ductwork.
You see the 2 rolls? Yep, we actually make that ductwork in-house and you can see it right there.
Yeah, for sure.
So it rolls through that press, basically presses together, and that's your ductwork for the flooring and for your upper bath decks.
So I guess the only seams then would be at the registers.
There's no seams. They're
None.
just where they cut a hole in the floor, right?
That's it.
So-
they're cutting it from the top.
Yep. So
And
they
then-
just cut out to the top. So you can see as this register sits here, they just cut the thing out.
And
They
then the
ta-
end. So
Yep,
just
and
at
they
the
end on
register
the
at
back.
the end.
Yep, ends at the back.
All right, in our first year of RVing, we had some jacks break off the back, and we actually never even fixed them. But one of our questions when we did this tour was, what about the jacks? And they have changed the design, and now all of their jacks and stabilizers are near the tires, which is super helpful.
Yeah. You're putting the tire up here because you got the box in the back, or
What's that?
you got
Spare
the
tire, yep, goes in the front now.
Okay.
Yep, we do it in the front because we do the box in the back for
Yep.
the ladder storage underneath them.
Okay.
And also, we were getting some cases where they were dragging dragging stuff in the back, so we just moved up to the front. We had
Fair
issues with them in the back, so we moved them all
Yeah.
up.
We got ours actually because someone vandalism stole our tire and ripped it all. So we got it pushed up in the floor, and then of course our butt drug, and we snapped off all my rear little jacks. So we haven't had jacks since like week 1.
Well, and you'll notice now, all the jacks are right behind the rear wheels.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh
And
my-
that's where we've moved them, because they were all towards the back, and we did that for years. And same thing, right? We were only building, the industry was only building such a small amount. And over time we realized,
Great.
oh, that's a bad thing, you know.
I am so jealous right now.
So we've definitely evolved over the years.
jealous.
As much as you hate to say it, we've evolved a lot.
Not that many changes. I'm sitting there going ding 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 ding.
Changes that we would make, you made.
Well, I guess maybe it doesn't seem like that to me because I've been doing it so long.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So here, cabinets are being installed, guys. Everything is done, like I said, stick built.
Yeah.
Walls are pre-built.
Sorry.
You know, a lot of stuff about this is that you'll realize is everything's pre-built, right?
yeah, for sure.
To keep the line moving efficiently and fast. So back there would be our cabinet shop, which I can take you back there, but everything's built back in the cabinet shop. Once they come out here, they're literally just screwing walls down, taking measurements from the front, back, and lining cabinets up. As you look upstairs, all these are harnesses that are built. So your harnesses and stuff are built so that when this thing comes online, there's as few connections as possible.
That's awesome.
Right? So they come out here, there's 2 sets of big wires, they go boom, the plumbing goes boom, 3 connections here, 4 connections there. Kind of just simple and easy to keep the line flowing.
Right on.
One cool thing about us is that our cabinets are all built, our countertops are built in-house. Heartland is one of the only companies that actually does their own countertops. So we have a huge lamination and countertop building that CNCs everything. So we buy this stuff in big slabs.
Yep.
And what that does is it allows us to do a lot of unique countertops that you don't see other manufacturers do.
That's cool.
They're 1/2 inch where a lot of guys are 1/4 inch. So we're getting thicker countertops at a cheaper price because we're not paying the middleman. You know, we literally are the guy that buys it in bulk and makes it work.
Love
And with that being said, we're not UNOSB, we're using plywood.
Yep.
We're just doing a little bit nicer, a little bit better backers throughout the process, just because we can, you know, and when we're still coming in at a better price point than what the other guys are.
Oh, I love it.
The problem with hardwood is it's very inconsistent. And what we were having problems with was it was cracking and busting, and it was with everybody. And it was because I don't know if they were kiln drying it too much, not enough.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
consistency wasn't there.
Jeez.
And so throughout time, we had a lot of issues with the stuff busting. And then the hot and cold, it was a lot of movement for that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not like a home. Like you look at a home, you see that it does move, or like even when a house has been abandoned for a while and no heat's been on, you notice the cabinets are the first things to pull apart, extracting and tran. Well, it's 10 times better than the RV because think you're heating with LP. Think how much moisture you get in this thing.
for sure.
So it expands, and then you get into extreme dry weather, it pulls apart. So you do see, that's why the industry as a whole really don't use hardwood anymore. Walls are going in, getting set. As you're working down the line, of course, this will be your cabinet shop. You know, everything's built through the cabinet shop here. As you can see, sink bases are built, walls are built.
That's awesome.
A lot of these walls, you know, a lot of these pieces are CNC'd. We have a shop in our mill room where they CNC the cutouts for like your convenience center, the curves in the walls. It's all done robotic.
Oh, wow.
So that literally a human puts the board in and it cuts it out for us.
That's great.
So no error in that stuff. But as you can see here now, of course, this is what your pass-through storage area is looking like. Your water lines are in there. All that stuff's kind of coming together, right, into one big set. Now, as you can see here, the walls are being set. Now, this is a torque.
I guess, sorry to keep interrupting you, but I noticed the pans are now plastic.
They are. Just consistency. Yours probably had carpet in it. Wood carpet ones, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're toast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just, whatever.
Yep, they were. We went to the plastic pans about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Just, again, easier molding. Now, as we get to this process, this is, of course, our sidewalls.
I need a couple new of these.
Do you? You're getting worn out, huh?
Oh, yeah, she's so buckled.
So here, we build all our walls in-house, right? We have a huge lamination facility. We probably have one of the best lamination facilities in the country. Okay. What we do here is you'll see that we use an Asdale sidewall, which is a composite substrate. So if you look here, this is all composite, where yours is actually wood, Luan.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what happens.
So now it's all changed.
It's all composite. This is a single layer, one big single layer instead of double layers. The Asdale basically can soak in water. So if there's ever a seal problem, if there's ever it's not going to get wet, you're not going to get delam. I know. This is actually really new to the industry too.
I'm pretty mad right now.
This is about 5 years old, I would say. Yeah, right? It's about 5 years old, the Asdale is. We've been doing it at Heartland for I think about 3. We announced it only 2 years ago, I think. We tested it for a year and realized we have no warranty claims on delams. We have less angry customers. I mean, it's just all around better product. It's a little bit more money, but out of the gate, when it comes down to warranty and everything else, it outweighs the benefits by a landslide.
I think we have, what, 2 units, 2 brands?
Yep, our Asdale, yep. So it's just good stuff.
And you're the only ones doing this?
There is a few manufacturers that do it too.
Okay.
But there's still a lot of guys that use Luan because it is cheaper and they use less glue. So with this being the composite, it absorbs a lot more glue. So it takes about double the amount of glue to make it stick. Just because this is porous, a little more porous, where the wood is hard, it doesn't really absorb stuff.
Couple questions. Is it lighter?
It is way lighter. It's lighter. It's got an R value to it, and it doesn't sound more. It is definitely. It saved us about 70 pounds a wall, in between 70 and 150, depending on what it was. So, like a coach, 300 pounds less is what it did, because you gain weight by the glue, which just sounds crazy. But we went from using 5 gallons to 10 gallons.
Oh wow!
So you gain the weight back in the amount of glue used. So it doesn't all come out.
And how are you finishing this? What finishes can you wrap it or do you paint it?
No, you can paint cyclones or it's the same graphics, right? Same thing as yours.
So this is
your exterior.
Wall.
Yep, that's a finished wall.
Oh.
And that's a white finished wall right there.
That's great.
So that's a torque.
So you're just slapping them, boom, slap the stickers on.
So of course, sidewalls are set here. Just a big crane pulls them over, drops them on. And kind of early, like I was telling you before, see this tube here?
Yep.
So in the older ones, you just had literally a double wall tube kind of like this and this. We went to this because of that issue. We went to a double wall, triple thick here, and then they're both stuffed with wood.
Perfect.
So more stuff to screw to. Also, compared to prior years, is we didn't have this bar underneath the bottom side of it, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Nope,
I know it's been a while. But the walls, what was happening is we were going directly through the sides.
Yeah.
And the vibration over time would rip the aluminum. So now you've got your weight and your structure sitting on this, and we screw through the bottom up. So,
That's awesome.
I mean, there's been a lot of manufacturing changes over the years on these. So.
And does some of the electricals now coming into one location?
Yep, all your electricals being put in. Yep, your solar, all that stuff is kind of centrally located in one spot.
Yeah, for sure. That's how mine look.
Yep. You probably got a smaller generator box.
I got the 5500.
Yep.
So whatever. Yeah.
The box. This is a real big box.
I can't ever get the generator out if I wanted to.
Nope, that's why I went to the bigger box. But yeah, basically everything's pre-built on the board. That's your 2,000 watt inverter. You got 360 watts of solar on this. And then that is your transfer switch, like I was telling you about before.
And
So
that's
that's
good.
the new transfer switch, yes.
AC load, AC
Yep.
input 2 from utility. So it's just this little guy.
Yep.
When Luke starts talking about the details, I kind of drift off and start looking at other parts of the RV. Hope you enjoy.
Sorry, can I touch things?
Yeah.
So that's probably a generator.
Yep. One's line and one's load, so one comes from your generator and one comes over from,
Connect to AC load.
yep,
Connect to AC source such as utility power. So that's generator.
yep.
Okay.
So yeah,
No, that's cool.
just
so
a whole different setup than the old ones.
So it's basically a small transfer switch, and this goes out to your main transfer switch, I bet.
Correct.
Okay. Can I take a picture of that?
Yeah, go for it. Right here, okay, walls are on, we're going into roof set. So what we're doing is, if you're to go up top, basically they're building the roofs up there, okay? So they're all built up on the mezzanine. Once they get the roofs built, they're gonna hook to the crane and they'll slide out in one big piece, okay? So the front wall goes on, which is a flat front comparison to yours. We definitely went utilizing every square inch.
Yeah, for sure. I see that. Everything is.
Aluminum front ends on these for weight and stability. Again, we're just trying to keep these things lighter, trying to keep the strength in the front ends with them for the side-to-side movement. So as you go here though, you can see no roofs on it, right? As we move forward though, roofs on it. As the AC ducts all been ran, wiring's dropped through the lights. You know, one thing we do, which is kind of unique, is that every wire is color-coded for what it is done. That's brand new for us. So if we say, you know, it's this light here, it's that color, it's exact, and it's throughout the whole company. It doesn't matter what brand it is. I don't know if every brand switched over, but we're pretty close to having every brand on that universal wiring system. So
That would have saved me some time.
again, if something, let's say it's for the water pump, right?
Yeah.
It's a green and blue wire. It's the same for every Heartland brand, every product.
I bet that
So
makes
it's
sense.
very easy for maintenance shop, for
Yeah, the tech's gonna love
service,
ya.
for techs, for the customer. You know,
Yeah.
it's just an all-around clean deal. So
And there'll be a sheet that shows you exactly
Awesome.
what everything's
what
for.
wire is for
Yep.
what.
So it'll be implemented in everything. Like I said, I don't know if we have all the plants done, but we're getting close. So anyways, wiring's dropped. Of course, the roof's in. As it moves down, they'll do the insulation. They'll insulate it. As you can see right now, it's just your wood rafters, kind of a raw stud throughout there. And then the farther you get up there, of course, like I said, they'll do batten insulation, and then they'll start sheeting the roof with their 3/8 OSB.
What makes, I always heard like if your rig didn't come with a ladder, it's not a walkable roof. Is that true or not true?
I know, sometimes it's cost. You know, those ladders are $300 by
Okay.
the time. You
'Cause
know.
I walk on my roof all the time.
Yeah,
I'm like, should I be
it's
okay?
they're 16-inch on center studs.
Okay.
I think most of the roofs are built the same. I don't know. That could be,
Oh,
it could be
why
a
so?
manufacturer's way of not covering warranty. I don't
Oh,
know. For us, everything's, you know, yours actually come without one because we didn't do them on Torx back in the day. But the roof is the exact same that it was then that it is now.
Fair enough.
So
Appreciate it. Thank you.
take that for what it is.
No, I get it.
So this is your new roofing. This is a TPO roof.
Oh, TPO, is that?
Yep.
Is that?
It's more of a plastic material. It's not rubber. So the rubber, remember I used to get the black
Yep.
streaks,
Yep.
and this is lighter weight. It doesn't black streak. It holds the glue a little bit better. It washes off easier. It's a better material to use.
So I don't have to seal it with anything.
You still use the same seal that you would seal, but
Okay.
you don't have to coat it with like that rubber coating stuff like a lot of people I see do.
Yeah, I put the full 100%
You,
silicone.
you don't have to put like the roof conditioning stuff on them.
Yeah.
This stuff is just wash and go.
It's not going to dry rot, or will it?
It's supposedly it's got a 12-year warranty on it. Better than the rubber roofs. That's what they claim, and we've been using it for a while now, and I really haven't seen a difference. It lays, now it does tend to crinkle a little more because it is a harder material. So, you know, the rubber roofs can expand and contract a little more, where this, when the weather's, you know, right, you can see it wrinkles a little bit more, but.
Okay. And you get a tear in it, does that tape still work with it?
Same stuff.
Okay.
Yep. So anyways, so other things like you notice here, which is a good example to show you, but this is your EGS backer in the walls. So like where we screw in your, let's say your dressers and your cabinets that go on the wall, this is what's actually behind the paneling. So that it's got something real to screw to. You're not just screwing to foam. So you're talking about trying to find studs.
All right.
Well, we don't necessarily have studs like a house
Yeah.
where it screws into. It screws into that EGS backer,
Okay.
which is just more or less a piece of galvanized steel.
I just go all the way through from the inside out.
All the way out?
And then
Oh, we have guys that do that too.
I've done it on accident.
Yeah, we got guys that do that too.
They're usually fired, right?
Well,
Well, no, labor's hard to come by nowadays.
and I could tell you a great story. I was here about 3 months ago, and as a new kid screwing in this cabinet right here. And I looked at him, and he had these screws this long, and I said, hey man, those screws look pretty long. He's like, no, I've been putting them in all day. I'm like, I'm telling you, man, those look pretty long. And I look, and he goes, no, I've been doing it all day. I look outside the wall if he screws it, 4 screws outside, and then we walk up the next 5 units, and they're all off the side of the wall. So yeah, he was doing it all day.
No one got it.
So
That's awesome.
So you're not the only one. This might be new to you. I don't know if yours has it in it, if you guys had the line, but we were pre-cracking these just because this is a point that it flexes, and we were always getting a little crack here no matter what we did.
And you're not going to do it up top?
We don't do it up top, no.
Because this
different.
different.
This
Or
tends to move more here.
Yeah.
For some reason, the amount of flex moves way more here than what it does up here.
I've seen somebody, I don't know whose RV we were around, Melissa, maybe you remember, they had it pre-cut up there as well with the...
Some people do. Some people do.
And that's
but-
where, I mean, ours is just everywhere.
Yeah.
Because that weld. I
Yeah,
think
it is that weld. I mean, everything's
Just
shifted.
everything.
Like I said, a lot of things have changed over the years
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
impressed.
structure. Technology's changed, right? These go to they call it a Bosch testing ground, and they actually Lippert will test these frames, and they'll basically shake them and beat them to death.
Man.
And then every unit now that we do actually goes on well, the first ones we build, we take them on a road test. I think I don't remember, it's 500 or 1,000 miles, and they just take it all over the place, over railroad tracks, to kind of get on our pilots, on our brand new floor plans, to make sure nothing falls apart.
Yeah, send us to Sedona with one of those. We'll test it
You'll
out.
test it for you?
Or,
Yeah.
or Baja. That's
There
where we
you
got
go.
the first track at.
Yeah. So
Baja down a 5-mile washboard road.
Oh.
And that's where it...
everything rattled apart, didn't it? Yeah. So anyways, cabinets again. I mean, we're just kind of getting to this area where we're doing interior touches up. You can see your convenience centers being located. Like I was telling you, there's our switches for your solar, your energy management, your one-touch. Solar panels see up top the controller, so it's all in one spot.
I like that design, whoever came up with that, building that into the system
Yep.
so it's hidden.
We're
That's
hiding
nice.
kind of everything to get that out of sight, out of mind.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, you're just starting to see the stuff come together more and more. It becomes more finishing touches the farther we get up the line, you know. And Lippert knows that stuff too. If you call Lippert, they're pretty good at keeping track of that stuff. And it's one thing. It's really evolved in the last 5 years. This industry has gotten so much better at tracking and logging and keeping count, where a lot of it was just on the fly changes. You know, and be like, oh, we're going to change that, and it just changed. Now it's all logged, and that's from us to Lippert to everyone. And like I said, we didn't used to do that.
Management change.
Now it's made implements and changes happen slower, but at the end user, for the end customer, it's a better deal for warranty. It's a better deal for everything at the end, right?
Now you can call up and say, I need, what is this?
Yeah, and they're like, what VIN number? Boom, we got it all. As we go up here, getting prep for front caps or hanging insulation, getting everything on the front of this. Basically getting it ready for the cap, right? So once it's done here, and we'll kind of work our way through here. Your cap,
Yeah, I guess, you know, you got a little bit of wasted space, but not
not
hardly
much.
any.
As you can see, this is it.
That's not much.
And actually, on a lot of the floor plans, it's got a dresser that goes in the wall, that goes into that now.
Oh, wow.
So we're utilizing every inch. This is now like this would be a full body paint. As you can see, it's a gray cat. These are non, so they're going to be painted, pre-painted, ready for graphics. So that's basically just primed, ready to go for making that a full body paint.
You got
Now-
any torque caps laying around?
These will not fit.
We're gonna just load out of here with all kinds
Oh yeah, you're going to be loaded up. So as we're coming up here, you know,
Tricked out now.
furniture is going in, baggage doors, your T-trim for your slide outs. You know, your slide outs are in now, your lights, everything's being tested for the electricals being tested here.
That's cool flooring.
It's woven flooring. This is what's in marines, kind of in your pontoons and stuff.
Yeah.
Same stuff.
How'd you guys finish the slides off now?
Same kind of finish. This is a flush floor slide, so it drops down into the frame. Yours is probably a flush floor slide.
It is, but this edge is the secret without having to do carpet, right? Is that
Right.
whatever? However
That's-
you're finishing that edge.
That's why you have to do carpet or this stuff. It hides it.
Yeah.
It's a marine grade.
But you guys are. I can't
flooring.
see it. You're probably finishing that edge, so.
It's just nope. It's just cut off on the angle, and then that just flaps over it. It's just a flap.
Is
It's
this?
just like your rubber flap that you put there to transition.
Yeah, it's just like your linoleum.
Yeah.
Of course, just from one section to the next, as you can see, the graphics are applied. It's pretty much in the finishing stages
Yeah.
here. We're
Downhill?
final inspections. You know, now it's got the pull-out griddle grill. So this is a 25-inch grill that pulls out, which is kind of neat.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's kind of sick. And then as you go inside, you can see they're clean. Go ahead, you guys can jump up in there.
Yeah.
Take a peek. But this is the double bedroom with the 2 sinks. And like I said, go ahead if you want. You can jump up in there. You're not going to hurt nothing.
It's a little tight. Is this the one with the sinks on
The
there?
double sinks, yep, and the
Yep.
slide and slide in the bedroom. So it gives you a massive bedroom. And the toilet is in its little private area, yep.
That's the one we. That's the one we saw where they were coming in and around the other side.
That's my kids, yep.
That's your kids?
Yeah. Was
there
it
you
the two girls?
Yeah.
That's that's
She
my
showed me
kids.
this. Like, look at this one.
Yeah, that's my kid. That's my girls. Amber was there.
Wow.
My girls like to do those TikToks.
I love that one.
Cheap labor, yeah.
I like the pantry. Is that a pantry?
Yep, that's a pantry.
Right in the middle.
And then you got a lot of pantry on that wall too, over there too.
Nice.
And then this is a 14-foot garage, and so your bath is actually in. You know, it's just it's a complete open 14-foot garage.
Oh, nice.
So in this area, they're doing final testing too. So once they've done all the trim, they're cleaning, they're doing all that stuff, they actually take that tank there and they fill it full of water, the whole system. They let it sit for 15 minutes and they suck it back out. So that's your flood test. They'll do a 100-pound test on all your water lines. Then they'll do like a 6-ounce gas test on all your appliances. And that's kind of it with the testing and stuff like that. It's all done through here.
It's all adios.
And then the last 2 stages are just going to be scales. They'll retest everything. All the same tests we did here, they do it again. And then they actually will run the appliances. And then they'll do any like putty marks or a little bit of cleaning, anything that's left over that has been missed at this plant.
And that's a
They
third
kinda-
party.
That's
Sorry.
No, that's Heartland also, but it's a
Oh.
whole nother building. And then we rain bay I think it's like every 4 or 5 units. So they go into a rain bay, they rain bay them, check them for leaks, and if they don't have any leaks and they're clean to go, we give them okay to ship, and they hit the road. If they don't pass, then they come back here and they fix them.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it comes through here and literally this is one of the last stages and it rolls over and goes out the door.
What do you guys say? Oh, the super slide coming. Look at that.
Yep,
That goes
that's-
out even more.
Yep, that's your slide and slide.
That'd be nice. Me and Mom's bedroom, just extra big.
I mean, my personal bedroom.
Oh, here we go.
I love it.
All right, so we just got done at Heartland. We got these cool hats. Actually, I really like these hats, Luke.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're nice. But we had a really nice tour. actually an excellent tour. We were really impressed with how everything was built. So we had like some things that have happened to our rig over the years.
Yeah, we definitely came in there with like gripes and complaints and like, did you fix this? Did you fix that?
Yeah, like questions that we had, because some of the things on our rig have broken and things have gone wrong over the years. But I kid you not, every single thing that we had a question about, Heartland has fixed and upgraded on their rigs. So it's not a problem anymore, which was super cool, because that tells me that this is a company that's like listening to what their customers are saying when they have an issue. And so, yeah, every time it was like, oh, what about this? Oh yeah. And he would say customers were having this issue, and it was the same issue we have had. And we were like, yes, we have that issue too. And he would say, well, because of that, we fixed this. So anyway, we had a wonderful time. The people from Heartland that we got to tour with, they were all super nice, and the whole experience was wonderful. So anyway, highly recommend that you schedule a tour if you come through Elkhart. It was really cool just to see the kind of assembly line of how it comes in just with the frame, and then piece by piece builds up to a rig. So anyway, it was awesome.
All right, well done.
All right, thanks for coming along on this factory tour with us. We learned so much, and we hope you did too. We hope that you like, subscribe, comment below on what Heartland RV we should get next.
Bye.